Join me as I dive deep into the dark side of Christmas and try to uncover what's really behind the horror of the holiday season. So, what's behind the growing popularity of Christmas horror? It seems counterintuitive, right? I mean, shouldn't we be focusing on joy, love, and togetherness during the holiday season, rather than terror and dread? But despite what might seem like a contradictory combination, Christmas horror has become a staple of modern entertainment, and its fan base is only growing stronger. Moving on to the central conflict or challenge within Christmas horror narratives. One of the most fascinating aspects of this genre is the way it juxtaposes joy and terror during the holiday season. Think about it. Christmas is supposed to be a time of laughter, gift-giving, and warmth, but Christmas horror flips this script, turning those same symbols of joy into tools of fear and dread. This subversion of expectations creates a sense of unease, as our brains struggle to reconcile the idea of festive fun with the creepy, unsettling atmosphere that pervades these stories. And at the heart of it all is the notion that Christmas is not just a time of celebration, but also a time of darkness and vulnerability. Take, for example, the classic Christmas horror tale, A Christmas Carol. At first glance, it's a heartwarming story of redemption and second chances, but scratch beneath the surface, and you'll find a narrative that's riddled with themes of mortality, greed, and the supernatural. This tension between light and dark is what makes Christmas horror so compelling, as it speaks to our deep-seated fears and anxieties, even as it acknowledges the sparkle and magic of the holiday season. Let's take a step back in time and examine the historical roots of Christmas horror. Folklore and mythology have long been fascinated with the supernatural and the eerie, and Christmas has always been a hub of these kinds of stories. Think of the Krampus, the creepy Christmas demon who punishes naughty kids, or the Icelandic Yule Cat, a monstrous creature that devours anyone who hasn't received new clothes for Christmas. Classic horror films like Black Christmas and A Christmas Tale also tapped into this rich vein of folklore, using the trappings of Christmas to craft tales of terror and unease. And as the genre evolved, so too did its themes and influences, incorporating elements of psychological horror, slasher films, and even black comedy. In modern times, Christmas horror has become a staple of indie filmmaking, with low-budget gems like Rare Exports and A Christmas Horror Story pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable and what's not. And yet, despite this explosion of creativity, Christmas horror remains deeply rooted in its folkloric and cinematic past. One pivotal moment in Christmas horror history that stands out is the release of Gremlins in 1984. This dark, subversive comedy horror film seemed to come out of nowhere, its mix of slapstick humor and sheer, unadulterated terror sending shockwaves through the cinematic community. What Gremlins did was to codify the rules of Christmas horror, establishing a template for future filmmakers to follow. It showed that Christmas horror didn't have to be simply a rehashing of traditional scary stories, but rather a unique blend of genres, tones, and themes that could create something truly original and terrifying. As the years went by, Christmas horror continued to evolve, incorporating new influences and ideas, but always remaining true to its core concept, the juxtaposition of joy and terror during the holiday season. Looking back on our journey into the heart of Christmas horror, it's clear that this genre is more than just a curiosity or a niche interest. It's a reflection of our deeper fears and anxieties, a way of confronting the darker aspects of human nature while still acknowledging the magic and wonder of the holiday season. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of the dark side of Christmas. If you've got thoughts on Christmas horror, share them with me in the comments below. And don't forget to check out my other video on the top 10 Christmas horror movies you need to see.